We're going to talk about how to get approved for business credit cards with no revenue in 2026. As you see on the left right there, that's a result, $75,000 business credit card. But I'm here to give y'all the real. Times have changed. Times are going to be a little bit different in 2026, but certain things based off of my conversations with these bank relationship managers, certain things are just going to be what it is, right? So you want to watch the entire video. So if you're a new entrepreneur, you're just starting out, you probably think that you need years of revenue just to get some business credit, right? And contrary to popular belief, even though I'm in this industry, I'm a big believer in that you shouldn't use someone else's money necessarily to start that business if you haven't already done business before, right? So those of y'all that's new, this is gonna apply to you. Take your 9 to 5 income, have that, and then have the business credit that you're getting as just in case, don't use their money and then that's just you don't have no plan or nothing, right? So we're gonna talk about it. This presentation is gonna reveal how the system works and why 2026 might be your best opportunity. Your best opportunity was yesterday, but it is what it is. So this is why a traditional banking advice is holding you back. So the old narrative, it was basically saying that traditional banks have, they've conditioned business owners to believe that they're not ready for business credit. Outdated advice says that you need multiple years of revenue history, extensive financial statements, perfect business credit reports, significant cash reserves. Some of this is true, right? I'm not dismissing the fact of cash flow underwriting that's being rolled out and all that, but the reality is you've got to look at it when something is going on, there's always an opportunity for something. So I want y'all to think in terms of opportunity, right? When something's going on, what is the opportunity for something? So look at it in terms of that lens as you're watching this presentation and just going about life. You know, those of y'all that don't know, I wrote this book. It's called The Power of Yet, and I just have that mindset. Just because you can't do something right now doesn't mean you can't ever do it. You just can't do it yet. So I want y'all, as y'all watching my videos, to understand that. I'll have a link below if you want to grab my book for free on Kindle. Help your mindset. But modern underwriting has shifted dramatically. Lenders are evaluating you based off of obviously your personal credit, and I want y'all to just leverage that as your main thing. So my mission is to show you the exact framework that I use to get clients approved without any revenue. By then, you're gonna understand why your timing couldn't be better. All right, so your personal credit is your foundation, like I've said. When your business has no revenue, banks evaluate you based off of based off of how your personal credit is structured, based off of your industry and what the projections may be like. It's not about saying, "Oh, I'm starting this new business. I'm gonna go make 10 million in the first year." It has to make sense within reason. And I was talking to a client about this recently when it comes to the projected income. But the truth that most people won't tell you, your personal credit profile is basically the primary underwriting factor. I know a lot of times and in a lot of recent times, people are more talking about like, oh, if you don't got no revenue, like you're screwed, you can't do nothing. We got to stick with reality, right? And this is off of me talking to many bank relationship managers within different banks. So keep that in mind. Obviously, we want a clean credit report, no collections, judgments, no public records, no nothing like that, no recent negatives, low utilization rates on each individual card, not just the overall, right? So just understanding that is important. If you're new, you're just looking to get access to business funding for the first time, you definitely want to pay attention to everything I'm saying. So, this is going to be my proven 2026 framework. I'm recording this before 2026, so obviously we haven't reached there yet, but the thing is, this is business. I'm projecting, I'm looking at things in terms of okay, where are we going next, right? Based off of the conversations I've had with these people, right? So, we're going to talk about the funding triangle in terms of what you need to focus on. When all three elements are aligned perfectly, clients are going to consistently receive the best approvals when we're talking about 25 to 150,000, regardless of revenue or not. So personal credit help, that's number one. So making sure that that personal credit is structured optimally to be able to prove to these banks without revenue that they should lend you money. Business compliance setup. So we're going to talk about the structure of the business that matters, documentation, and just being just appearing legitimate. And then strategic bank relationships. So applying to the right lenders and the optimal sequence. Like I mentioned, I've been talking with different bank relationship managers on where things are going 2026 and beyond. And what you're going to be seeing, you probably already been seeing, a lot of these banks are merging. So that's going to continue to happen as well. So where banks may not have been in your footprint before, you're going to start seeing that as well. So these are things that I just want y'all to understand, as me, as someone that's in this industry and I'm talking to people here and there, just look at it like I'm not talking down on you as if you don't know it or nothing. I'm just having these private conversations and coming reporting it to y'all. So just keep in mind, this is what you want to have on it, the funding triangle. All right, so step one is building your personal credit foundation, of course. So we want to target, people say 680. I understand. I've said 680 in the past. We're heading into 2026, bro, or sis. 720 plus is what we want to focus on, right? If you're above 750, that's cool. It's not about just having the score necessarily. This is where it gets contradictory in a sense, and this is where people get confused. I understand that. I'm not green to that. I understand that, right? But the fact of the matter is, you want to have a good score and good profile, right? And then have under 10% utilization on each card, not just overall utilization. I talk to a lot of people that's just starting. They're just like, okay, they'll pull their Experian. You know how it has a circle thing there? Utilization is 7%. But then we're going to individual cards, and some of these cards are like 40 plus percent. It has to be overall, everything, right? It's not about just throwing trade lines on there. Oh, my utilization is good. These banks already know what it is with these trade lines. They're seeing that as trade lines. They want to see your actual primaries. And when we're talking about primaries, we want to have actual banks, actual bank, credit union in your local area. Don't be doing like these credit one banks and these weird banks that aren't real banks like that. So, and you want to have some history, at least 6 plus months. And then I like to say 5-figure cards, so 10K plus, but I said 7,500 on like the minimum, and then no late payments, preferably. Banks are recognizing this is why it matters. Banks are recognizing is that if you can't manage, your personal credit responsibly, it don't make sense to lend you business credit. And those of y'all that know, like we're in this whole economy buzzword of AI, they're using AI to predict like your trend of how things are going with you. So you have to take the time to build the foundation. I know it's a sexy term, business funding, business funding. As much as I want to help you get your business funding, we have to do it correctly. So keep that in mind. If you have a business idea or something, if you're just starting, just make money in your 9 to 5 or whatever you're doing, right? The easiest way to make money or most simple way will probably be a 9 to 5 because business, if you haven't had experience with business doesn't necessarily kick off right away, right? I've had multiple businesses. When I first started in business, it didn't happen right away. That's why I used to work a 9 to 5 as a chemical engineer. I had to get that money so that I can fund my business ventures, right? So keep that in mind. It's not about just you being broke as hell and just going to get business funding as your lifesaver. You don't want to look at them as your lifesaver, right? So have your own money first. When we're talking about basic financial literacy, some of y'all need to just accept reality. Go get a job, go get a second job, right? If you're a man, like we're meant to work, go get a job, go get a second job. It's no harm in it. So keep that in mind. So the business compliance checklist, most denials happen at this stage, not because of your scores, but because of incomplete, inconsistent business documentation. So obviously you want to have your EIN from the IRS, your EIN issuance letter, and you want to make sure that you have an active LLC that's in good standing. Business phone number is good. It's not like the most important thing, but keep that in mind. Professional email address as well. And then a website. Not every bank is going to be looking for a website, but they do want to see that you actually are a legitimate business. So you want to look at it and reverse engineer how they're analyzing you, right? I've worked with hundreds of business owners, getting them funded, getting them denied as well, just because that's the name of the game. And these are things that I've noticed, right? Consistent address matching. This is arguably the most important aspect of what we're talking about. Every document must show identical business address across all platforms, right? So the Secretary of State website, your business credit card or business loan application, you have to maintain consistency, right? And when we talk about those virtual addresses, it's it's in a stage where I've gotten a lot of people funded where they're putting their home address, right? So things have changed. When I first started in the industry in 2021, That's when people are doing, the virtual addresses with the Opus or iPostal, stuff like that. That was more relevant back then. But more in recent times, just to be transparent, it's been more of I'm seeing people getting approved using their home address, unless it's a more established business that I work with where they actually have a place where they're, paying rent for their business. So keep that in mind. All right, so NACES code, you guys can read that. NACES code is the biggest thing with it. You could be in a risky industry, you cannot be in a risky industry. I always tell people your business is your business. So if you do participate in a high risk or prohibited industry, nothing is stopping you from creating a new LLC in a non-risky industry so you can go get your business funding. So just food for thought. Step number three, strategic bank sequencing for 2026. So most entrepreneurs do not understand this. The order that you apply to the banks matter just as much as your qualifications. You need to do it in a consistent, not consistent. You need to do it in a strategic way to optimize your approvals, right? So one thing about Chase business credit cards will be crazy not to talk about them, even though things are changing. They're oftentimes their best starting point for a clean profile, and I'm talking about just even establishing the personal foundation. Obviously, they're known for generous limits, as y'all have seen. I think on the first slide, I had a 75K card showing there. So you can start there to establish momentum. And then Bank of America on the business side is pretty good depending on the relationship that you have. You don't have to have a relationship, but you can have a relationship. There's a sequence where you can apply for multiple cards. What we tend to see is people will probably get a little bit north of 30,000 from BOA amongst the three cards. So I would personally recommend that you put a large deposit if you can, if you're going about it with Bank of America. I'm just giving y'all like a sample between these three banks. And then US Bank, pretty good option. It really depends on your relationship, and they're very, very big. I spoke with one of my reps. They're very, very big on the comparable credit. So if you have this Chase card over here and you're managing it well, you have 50K limit, you're using it, they're going to be more willing to loan you a higher limit versus you don't have, that relationship. So just keep that in mind. The main thing I'm trying to get y'all to know is strategy is important in it. So four mistakes that kill no revenue approvals, applying without a strategy that's based on logic, right? Your strategy has to be based on logic. It can't be based off of, oh, I feel. Usually that's what women do. But if you're a woman watching this, you I have some logic when you're going through it, right? Even the dudes, some of y'all dudes is emotional like women, but applying for business credit cards without a strategy that's built on logic can really mess you up. So inconsistency in information, what I was saying, make sure everything is consistent across the Secretary of State website, across your application. Don't have things like questionable here or there. If your business is a singular way, don't say that it's plural when you're doing your application. Like, you know what I mean? Like if something is INC Incorporated, don't say INCS or something. Just maintain consistency. High risk and NACES code that could stop you as well. And then not freezing your reports or freezing them at the wrong time. So when you're applying, you want to make sure that your credit reports are not frozen so that they can actually pull it because it can lead to an instant denial. It can delay time. It's just a lot of nonsense you don't want to go through. So how do I guide clients to 50 to $250,000 in business credit? So my proven process, I don't just teach theory. I walk these entrepreneurs through every single step of the approval process. It doesn't mean you're going to get all the funding in one round. Sometimes it takes time. But I basically audit your business set up to identify any gaps before, the banks see your applications. And then obviously credit optimization. So we just want to make sure that we're being strategic as far as maximizing your approval within the 30 to 60-day period of the first round, or if that's all you need. And then bank sequencing strategy. So your personalized roadmap showing exactly how lenders, showing exactly which lenders to approach in which order. Obviously depends on your specific situation, your location, and all of that. So this is a customized situation. And then application support, obviously guidance through each submission, so that you go about it in confidence and go about it the correct way, because there's a correct way There's an incorrect way. And then funding plan development. So building towards a 50 to 250K systematically. So, like I said, I've helped hundreds of business owners. Some of y'all probably been helped by me without even letting me know or giving me credit. But from what I know and who I've came across, I've helped hundreds of business owners who thought maybe they wouldn't qualify or just came to me for help, secure the funding that they needed to secure. The difference isn't their credentials, it's having someone who knows exactly how the system is going to work in 2026. All right, so your next step, this is where you decide what you want to do. I'm gonna have a link in the description. You can watch a free masterclass that I taught that just goes over securing business funding at your stage if you're new or no revenue or whatever. You can get a custom plan if you do want to book a call. So you'll have a personalized funding roadmap based on your specific credit profile and your business situation. And alternatively, you could also join Cat Credit University. Cat Credit University is my university. It's a credit DIY credit university, but the whole purpose is to teach business owners, new entrepreneurs, how to start a credit repair business efficiently so that they can have the knowledge to basically do the shit that I'll be doing and understand how they can create a system where they can make at least 10K per month in a predictable way, right? And you can obviously learn how to secure the funding that you need. So, like I said, I've helped hundreds of business owners get funded. 2026 is the best time if you move correctly. You're one setup away from getting approved. So you can click the link below to learn more about how to get approved. You go to the masterclass, watch a masterclass. Like I said, if you want to book a call and work with us, I'll get you a custom plan. Or just getting to university is free. So if you want to enjoy all the benefits, I would recommend that you upgrade to VIP, which is a $49 option, but you can literally join right now for free. So with that being said, I hope this was valuable. Y'all make sure y'all share, comment, like, or whatever if you want. But yeah, y'all have a blessed one.